Cars are just getting too expensive, and now dealers and buyers are finally agreeing. There has been a sharp rise in new and used car prices since the pandemic has left many buyers concerned if they can even afford a vehicle. And now some dealers are worried along with you. And some dealers have been saying that the elevated prices and the lack of affordable models already are keeping some prospective buyers away. And now higher interest rates and limited supply of cars are making it even more difficult for customers to make the math work on a monthly basis. In some cases, buyers are canceling the orders they placed before the interest rates rise even higher, and dealers are concerned. Some auto retailers are trying to increase their used car inventories to make it more affordable for some buyers. But before we go further, I want to remind you to subscribe and click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. We give you more than car reviews and first looks of new vehicles. We give you car smarts, because knowledge is power. The root cause for the lack of affordable vehicles is the supply chain disruption that created new vehicle scarcity in recent years, resulting in a seller's market for used cars. Meanwhile, automakers have cut output of vehicles at the lower end of the price scale, choosing instead to emphasize on their most profitable models at higher price points and more luxury. Dealers expect the pressure will hurt total vehicle sales until the availability improves. Not being able to offer any incentives or discounts in new rides is also a huge negative impact. While vehicle inventories are rebuilding, they remain at about half the pre-pandemic level, and automakers expect relatively tight supplies at least to the end of 2023. If supply doesn't return soon, then those available new cars will be priced out of reach for most middle-class households. The vehicle shortage upended the car market for more than 2 years. Limited dealership inventory means the dealers essentially are selling every vehicle they can get their hands on, while consumers frequently paid over manufacturers' suggested retail price and book values, which I highly suggest you don't do, further stoking demand. A combination of low interest rates and record high prices for used cars, which new car buyers often trade in, often offset their purchase price. That is all gone. Things have changed. In the electric car market, Tesla price reduction across several models prompted a similar move from Ford, leading some analysts to predict a potential EV price war. Instead, Tesla has since inched some prices back up a bit. Still, average price of an electric vehicle is $66,000, and the average price paid for a non-electric vehicle hit a record of almost $50,000 at the end of last year. Overall, U.S. auto sales last year fell to their lowest levels in more than a decade at 13.7 million vehicles because of the supply chain and shortages. Now, many car makers are predicting sales volumes to rise to about 15 million this year as parts inventories return, which would still be far less than the pre-pandemic levels of around 17 million, which still means less cars. There are some issues for those who do buy new vehicles. The National Auto Dealer Association warns that rising monthly payments aggravated by high interest rates are expected to keep a lid on sales. It's also important to note that more Americans are falling behind on their car payments these days than before, with the high inflation, cooling job market, and other challenges. Unfortunately, this leads to a growing number of auto repossessions, and the trend is expected to continue. Some dealers who gathered at the National Auto Dealer Association conference in January also cited a downtick in demand as consumers strain to get into a comfortable monthly payment. In some cases, interest rates have gone up between the time the customer placed the order for the vehicle and when the vehicle was delivered. And dealers and auto executives said if a customer puts in an order in October and it arrives in January, the interest rate that would have been about 3.5% is now 7%. And this was stated by David Christ, who oversees the North American sales and marketing for Toyota Motor Company. He says affordability is a problem, and it is. Falling used car prices also are hurting demand for new cars because of declining trade-in values. Dealers say that some auto retailers who stocked up on pricey used cars during the pandemic years now say they are trying to sell them as quickly as possible to avoid a loss. If a customer trades in a vehicle and we don't like it for whatever reason, we sell it on the wholesale market the next day and pocket whatever margin we can, said Mark Roundtree, a Hyundai dealer from Maine who knows what will happen with prices. Affordability is the underlying struggle. There is no immediate solution. One positive sign is that used car prices are finally returning to normal following record highs, and this could be good for someone who needs a vehicle. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you have any questions or comments, because you always do, I'll be happy to answer them. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link is in the description below, plus all the links for our website, social media, book, and the podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.